Well, the first thing is that there's a bit of an ethical sort of thing with this. In the U.S. military, they use dogs for sort of many things, sort of sniffing out drugs, sniffing out bombs, that sort of stuff. So it's not new that they're actually using dogs, but what they are proposing to do, or what they're trialing, is actually putting AR goggles onto the dogs. So when you see a picture of it, it's basically a dog with this sort of vest on and a wire and proper goggles on it, or doggles, as I like to call them. And it's basically so you don't have to. If you think of in a sort of airport or whatever, and there's normally a dog with a handler, isn't there, and they're sniffing out things. But it's so that they can communicate with the dog, but having the dog remote as such, so they can send it into an area and communicate to it via this sort of AR display. And I'm guessing, I'm not sure exactly the sort of specifics, but I'm guessing it would show it particular things that it needs to look for and things like that.
And also relay all that information back to some guys in some swanky,
just
hideout.
a plush hideout somewhere while they're drinking their espressos,
or in the back of a van,
or in the back of a van. But that's the thing. I guess that's it, isn't it? Is rather than thinking, I know the dog's barking because it's found something, is that they can literally see what's going on. But I don't know about you. I just look at it as I said sort of like an ethical thing. It's, you see dogs being trained and they enjoy that sort of stuff, don't they? Like the challenge and that. But when you're strapping it with, tech, is that crossing the boundary?
I don't know. The thing is, we've talked about it on this show. We've probably talked about it when we was on the Out of the Blank podcast about animals with equipment strapped to them and things like that. And certainly in America, that seems to be. I'm sure it happens elsewhere as well. But I mean, I've got 2 dogs. I ain't strapping equipment to them, but but I mean, these dogs, like you said there, some of these dogs are trained for that reason. It's a bit like, a guide dog is trained in a certain way. If it was unethical to do that, then I guess it wouldn't be done. I'm not saying it doesn't happen for them same reasons, but I can understand where you're coming from, because even the thought of a dog with some sort of goggles on is just a weird kind of image in my head anyway. It sounds like something you'd see in a movie. And is it affecting how the dog is seeing these things as well? I mean, that's for me. I mean, is it giving them night vision? That's what I want to know.
That'd be incredible, wouldn't it? They apparently already wear goggles in certain circumstances because they to protect their eyes in the same way as a human would wear goggles. So it's not going to be all of a sudden you're, come here, boy, and popping them on. They've already got a certain element. They're used to that sort of thing, and that's it. It's sort of you worry that the dog uses its smell and all these sort of things, and that if you're then feeding it information on a heads-up display, what's that
doing to their minds?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to change their evolution, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, surely they're not operating kind of software with their eyes. Just I mean, that's going to look funny on this video with me doing that, but they're not kind of It's purely as a way of being able to for someone else to see what they're seeing, as opposed to it being some sort of tech software that they're using that front, surely.
Well, who knows? I mean, apparently it's now being funded. It was started in 2017, and they've started making prototypes. The current versions, because they are wired, apparently they do need a handler. But in the future, it would be the case that you wouldn't a handler. But they have secured funding. It will be going to the next stage. So
birds with goggles on.
if you think though, in the next stage, and we always go back to sort of, neural link and those sort of things. You think Elon had things in a pig's brain, didn't he?
Mm.
That's then when it sort of raises big ethical issues of, okay, well, it's a lot easier, but let's not slap a goggles on this dog. Let's
Want something in his head.
go straight into its head, and then it's all good. We can link up to that. But
So long as it
scary.
doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to start walking around the streets and seeing animals, or go into a farm or a zoo and seeing animals all with goggles on, like every